Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Andrew Townsend. I'm the Campaign Marketing Manager here at eLearning Brothers. Today's session is going to be about how to boost learner engagement and adoption in Knowledgelink. That's the LMS that you can get through eLearning Brothers, and it's really, really cool, and we're excited to show you what we've got to demo today. This session will be recorded, and a copy of it will get emailed out to everybody who has registered, so you'll be getting that later in the day in your email. We'll also be posting that on our website at blog.elearningbrothers.com. If you have questions during the webinar, we'll be ready to answer your questions using the questions panel. It's there, part of the GoToWebinar control panel. It looks like a couple of you already found that, so please do send your comments and your questions through there. We're also going to be using some polls throughout the session. To get your thoughts and opinions, just click right on the screen when those ones come up. All right, so we have some fantastic guests today. We've got Jon Tota, the LMS LXP Senior Consultant, and Peter Getchell, one of our Senior Sales Consultants with us as well. Thanks for joining us, both of you, and I'll go ahead and turn the time over to both of you, Jon and Peter.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Andrew. So I'll get us kicked off here, and then Pete's gonna really do most of the driving, but first of all, we want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us today. We're going to make sure that we give you lots of value here and make it as entertaining as we can while we go through Knowledgelink. So for introductions, as Andrew said, I'm Jon Tota. I originally co-founded Edulance and created Knowledgelink years ago. And since our recent acquisition, I now lead our LXP design team here at eLearning Brothers. And Peter Getchell, who's with us as well, has led Knowledgelink sales for almost 15 years at Edulance and now leads the LMS sales team at eLearning Brothers. So together over the years, we've helped hundreds of companies launch their online learning communities on Knowledgelink and scale our user base to over 200,000 active monthly users across 670 enterprises with over 10,000 offices globally. So it's a lot of users, and really the way that we've seen our role is to help our Knowledgelink admins grow their user base, but really most importantly, drive engagement and increase their user adoption. And so, you know, we talk about this a lot, that one of the main product themes, every LMS kind of has a theme and a design to it. We really feel strongly that that theme for Knowledgelink is all around adoption. It's really informs the priorities in our application and the way that we want to help our customers use the platform and be successful on it. And so user adoptions, what we're going to talk about today, our Knowledgelink technology has quite a bit of features in there that are really designed around getting users to find the content that's most useful to them and engage with it. And overall, how to improve the learning experience for our end users and for your learners. So you'll see lots of examples of that and what we're doing today, and some sneak peeks at some of the innovations that we have coming in the near future in Knowledgelink, and our evolution to a full learning experience platform in the coming months. So without further ado, Peter's put together a nice agenda for us that's going to talk about the way that we've increased adoption in Knowledgelink. And what's important is that these strategies can work in any application, probably not all of them like they do in Knowledgelink, but even if you're not a Knowledgelink user, we've got a lot of value here in just strategies and things that you can do. Of course, we're going to show it in Knowledgelink, but it's a lot of takeaways and best practices that anybody could really go and use in their own application. But of course, we're happy to show you how you can do it the best in Knowledgelink. So let's get started. Pete, what are the Knowledgelink adoption strategies that we're going to be sharing today?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of things covered for today. We're going to share some real life adoption strategies. So the things we're going to talk about and learn today are specifically these. So delivering a user-centric dashboard so users come in and get their own experience. Leveraging enrollments to increase completion. So this is going to be tackling the enrollment capabilities inside the platform. Coaching and engaging with instructor commentary. So a unique feature to the platform that helps instructors essentially engage the users a little bit more with commentary. Socializing boards of content with users in their community. A great new feature called clipboards that help people kind of socialize it and drive engagement around that. Expanding the discussion to the users in the platform. So really discussion groups, opening that up for two-way communications back and forth. Soliciting feedback so learners are involved in what goes on inside the platform, new content ideas, things like that. And lastly, assessing and developing each individual's strengths and weaknesses with skills assessments, which is a great new tool inside the platform to really adapt the learners' learning towards their strengths and weaknesses. So lots of great stuff.
Cool. So we will get started. So Pete is going to switch over to our screen share. Obviously we're going to talk about a lot of strategies and concepts here, but we really want to show you firsthand how we're doing this in the application. So we are in the ELB LMS instance. So this is a Knowledgelink community, much like any of our customers have. This one's just preloaded with a lot of really amazing eLearning Brothers content. And we're implementing a lot of these strategies here. And this is a real success story because we launched this remote work program, which a lot of you, the attendees here, might be members of. You might have seen this. You've probably definitely seen communications around it. But we only launched this program in this Knowledgelink community back in March, at the end of March. I think it was around March 26th. So we're going to show how we drove the adoption, how we grew the user base in that from 0 to I think it's about 3,000 users in just a couple months here, and they're highly engaged. So this is really cool. Pete, I think we're going to start, and we're just going to conversationally talk about this while we go through it. And Pete's going to be driving. So I think we're going to start by taking a look at the main dashboard here. And this is really important. Obviously, everybody brands this the way that they want with their own color schemes and banners and all of that. But once you get down to the featured items, this is where it's really driven by the system. And a couple of things that we know, certainly specific to the group you belong to, you have these featured items. So in this case, cybersecurity, health and safety, anything that I am registered for as a group or a member of a group. It could be role-based content, interest groups, things like that. We do them on topic areas here. But so this is specific to the groups I belong to. And then if Pete clicks on new here, the system automatically will highlight any of the sessions here that are new. And so this is a feature that we added to the system, both new and most viewed right below it, because we wanted people to find new content. If you come because you're required to look at something, we want you to see the newest content that was uploaded in the last 30 days. We certainly want you to see the most viewed content. And this is cool. If you look here, it also shows the total views. So as an end user, I can see the stuff that is really personalized for me and my position in the company, but then also what's new and most popular right now. And it shows you the things that are being viewed. In this case, the coronavirus COVID-19 session from Vado is up over 700. So you can even see it's a little bit like a leaderboard as well. So this is a really cool way to keep users engaged, looking at new things outside of what they came here for. And now Pete's just going to jump quickly to the admin side. And from here, Pete, just we'll jump in quickly and just show people in settings where you flip the switch on those two settings to show most viewed and new. What's cool about this is that you don't do it manually. Right here inside of settings, you can flip a switch and say, yes, I want to show new content. Yes, I want to show most viewed, and the system will automatically do it. You also have an auto enrollment switch there, which we're going to talk about now. So when Pete jumps over to reporting here, what we care about with adoption, we've done some studies in our own user base with our customers, and we have almost an 80% increase in completion rates and view rates when users are enrolled in courses. So that's a huge, I mean, almost off the chart stat that we've seen across all of the communities that we host. So really what we want to do is help everyone use enrollments, because when users are enrolled in content, it is featured on their dashboard. They get email notifications. They get notifications in the system. We also have this great reporting that Peter's looking at right now under curriculum enrollments. So we're looking at this program, and Pete set the date range there from March 1st to today. And you can see we launched this program on March 26th. We got over 3,000 enrollments on day one. And then we get a pretty steady bump every time we do a communication out to the user base. We get, it's anywhere between 500 to 1,000 new enrollments. And so that's our goal. We're always looking at that. How can we get more users enrolled into content? Because the system then automatically does its job and helps get them back to the platform. And now Pete's going to jump over to the enrollment completion report. And Pete was kind of the genesis or the brains behind getting this report in the system. So Pete, you want to tell them a little bit about what this report is and why we use it so much?
Yeah, this report is great and critical for admins and also managers that you give access to this report, because what it does is it gives you really that 30,000-foot view over who's watching what in a particular enrolled course. In this case, we have that free remote work curriculum course that I just searched up and searched for. I'm going to filter it by progress. Now, what it does is if I can drill into a particular user inside of my organization, so in this case, I will bring up somebody that has this course, and maybe it shows you the overall progress. Certain people have completed it all the way through, how many logins they've had, but others, it'll show you where maybe they're falling short. So if I click into a particular user, like, Kathleen, if they have an excessive amount of activity, it'll show you all of the activity, say for Catherine, for example, Katerina, I should say. Here's a great view into what has she done as she progressed through the courses. So she has all of the free remote work course curriculum. And this actually will give you an overview of, hey, how is she progressing through? So whether she's not started it, you'll see a little red X. In progress, it gives you a little half moon. Completed with the green checks. And then if there's scoring, which there is throughout a lot of these interactive SCORM and XAPI modules throughout, you'll see it's going to score them with what they've done on their test. So just from this one bird's eye view of Katerina and how she's progressed through this course, I can see everything that she's doing and how she's progressing. So if I see maybe a bottleneck here with a bunch of sessions she can't hasn't completed in a certain course, as an admin or as a manager, there's some follow-up I can do with them to help them through certain courses and modules inside the thing. So a great little oversight into who's watching what modules inside of a curriculum.
Yeah, and so this is essentially like the report card for a learner, and also you can put it in print mode and print it out, and so it really becomes kind of their proof of completion on these, as well as just kind of your eyesight into how they're doing with a particular curriculum. So now we'll jump over to the front end side because, actually, if you go to enrollments while we're still on admin here. So there's 3 ways to enroll people, because while we say that the most important thing is for us to help people utilize enrollments because there's such a noticeable increase in adoption once we use that, we've added a multitude of different ways to get people easily enrolled into content. One of them is enrollments on the back end here that an administrator or any manager can manually select any one of these courses on the left-hand side, show users, and then be able to just check off a list of users and manually assign this content or enroll these users into the content. And then they're enrolled, they get it posted to their dashboard, email notifications, and of course they start showing up on that very valuable course completion report that Pete was showing us just a moment ago. So this is one way to do it. And as we showed before in settings, you can also just flip a simple switch and just turn auto enrollment on, and then any course inside of Knowledgelink that you check off auto enroll on, they will automatically get enrolled in it on their first login or their first registration in Knowledgelink. So a lot of people like to use that feature because it's kind of set it and forget it. You turn on auto enrollment and then everything will just automatically get assigned to users. So let's take a look at the front end now. There's obviously lots of other features and things. Pete, maybe log in as a regular user now. And now you're going to see the view change a little bit. Now we're going to log in as just a regular learner. Pete was logged in as the admin for this site, which a lot of you might be on your own Knowledgelink communities. But now we're going to go in as a regular user, I think me in this case, and start seeing a little bit about that enrollment experience on the front end. So now you see the branding's changed a little bit. I belong to a different group than Peter, so I have a different branding. Of course, I'm in the same community, but it's just changed my view a little bit. If Pete scrolls down now, you'll also see I've got a different selection of content. So media groups determine what I see in my featured items. Of course, new and most viewed are going to stay the same. But I have a couple squares here, that Knowledge Pilot course and the onboarding course in blue and green down in the lower right. And those are different than what Pete had. So the permissions are really determined by the groups you belong to, and that's shown here in the featured area. But now I can easily go and self-enroll, and I think, Pete, there's probably nothing enrolled here right now. If you scroll, if Pete scrolls up and takes a look at enrolled, I don't think we've actually enrolled in anything as this user
yet. Nothing in here yet, yeah.
Right, and so now I can also self-enroll in any one of these courses, and I can enroll others. So I'm enrolled in leadership development. If not, I'd have that button right now. It says unenroll. If I was enrolled, I could hit that button and enroll myself, and that's self-enrolling. And then enrolling others is exactly what we showed you just a moment ago. If I see this course and I'm a manager and I think it's really valuable, I want some people to see it, I can hit that button and immediately enroll them. Just as Pete showed us a moment ago on the back end. So 3 ways, simple ways. We're going to show you some more advanced ways to handle enrollments, but we know enrollments increase adoption, and the adoption drives up all of our views and our logins and everything that's valuable to us from a platform perspective. And we give you those easy ways: auto enrollment, manager enrollments, this enroll others feature right here on the front end, and self-enroll. And so those are 3 easy ways to get people into courses. And now, once you're inside of a course, we start talking about a few of the things that we can do that are a little more advanced. I think, Pete, where are we going to go in Courageous Leadership?
No, Courageous Leadership video content. Load up the Creating Performance in 2 minutes, which is part of the work course.
So, and so one of the things about Knowledgelink that is important is that we were built, from the ground up many years ago as a video training platform, one of the first video training platforms actually in existence. We built the very first version of Knowledgelink 2 years before YouTube came out. So we were doing video training before it was a very good idea to do it. And now our technology for that is really ahead of most of what you would ever see in a learning management system, because we've modeled so much of this on what you can do in consumer video sites. So we're going to show you a little bit about some of the functionality that's cool here from a video perspective. First being, Pete, is it commentaries?
Yeah, we're going to show a little commentary action. So as I mute her as she's talking, commentary is great because it allows the facilitators, the instructors of this course and this content, to actually time code comments around this video. So as you see, she's playing here. I have 5 comments that are showing up on the right-hand side. And when I load that up, again, the admins do this on the back end pretty easily just by time coding comments to the video while it's watching. But from an end user perspective, they get to watch the video facilitation happen on the screen, but then time coded comments are gonna pop up to kind of coach and engage the user throughout this video. And if I miss it as a user watching this video, I can click on a section and it will rewind back to that point so I can pick up where she left off. Or if I want to show all the comments and I want to jump where she was talking about this at 50 seconds, I can jump to that part where she's talking about 65% of millennials. So it's a great little tool to do that. And again, it's super easy from the admin perspective how to do it, but from an end user perspective, it's invaluable because it provides those tips and techniques to kind of engage them in an asynchronous fashion, all time coded to this video. And it definitely helps drive adoption to the content and engagement because you're providing that facilitation and training right along with it, referencing things down below, download the attachment. You can call out a lot of different things inside of that commentary feed.
And the reason we built this was to really replicate, it's an asynchronous commentary tool. So we wanted to replicate what goes on in a conference room when we all sit around a table in person and look at a screen, and the subject matter expert might be playing a video like this on the big screen for 10 or 15 people in a conference room, stopping the video, adding their own commentary, telling you to stop right here, do some worksheets. So what we wanted to do on a trainer's schedule, because as we all know today, we're all doing probably far too many Zoom sessions. We don't need any more live video training sessions for our managers and trainers out there. Asynchronous is a great way to do this because I can add these commentaries as the trainer or the subject matter expert at 11 o'clock at night. And when you come through and watch this at 7 o'clock the next morning on your schedule, those comments are going to come up. You're going to feel like I'm taking you through this content. At me as a trainer, this takes me no more time than watching the video myself and just typing in the comments, and it time codes them into the video right here. And you've got that facilitation, that first person facilitation. So it's great for the subject matter expert, the trainer, to have some ownership in the content that you're giving them. And it's a really nice experience for the end user. So that's commentaries. And then Pete, I think we're going to talk about boards, right? That's one of our new features we just added here.
Yeah, clipboards, you notice there's a little extra icon here on the video player page where it allows you to have the clipboard functionality. You know, what that essentially is a cool way to kind of socialize the content with different people. So similar to Spotify, where you're creating, you know, a playlist of music, you want to share it with friends. This allows you to take the best of breed training inside of your curriculum. And in this case, I love this creating performance in 2 minutes. I can actually click on it and add it to a particular board. If I don't have a board created, well, I can create one, or I can just say add it to one of my particular boards that I have, like leadership, for example, and boom, it's been added to my board. Similar, like I said, the Spotify putting music on a playlist, this is putting it onto a training curriculum board. And I can go to the front end and you can see here, do you want to talk through the actual side, the front end side of it as well, John?
Yeah, and so in this case, so, you know, the idea behind this was to make it easy to socialize content. So Pete can go through and Pete, you could even go and grab another piece of media and then add that to the same board. You can have as many boards as you want, theme them any way that you'd like. This really allows any end user in the platform. This is one of the big things for us, is that so much of the content, as everybody knows in a learning management system, is a one direction push. It's the administrator at the top level giving you content, assigning content to you, enrolling you in content. And we feel that we're very committed to the learning experience model, where we want the end users to control that content themselves a little bit. So this is our way for an end user, anyone in the platform, to build their own playlists and then share them with other people. So you don't need to be an admin to do this. Pete can click share and share this with any other user inside of the community. And a new feature that we're going to be adding in the coming months is that you can just share this with the entire community, and then there's a public repository of all the shared boards. So essentially, you know, like Pete said before, Spotify, you can share your playlist in Spotify, and then people can follow you and get access to it. We're doing the same kind of things here with training content. We feel like every individual user should have the ability to curate content inside of the Knowledgelink learning experience and share it with other users. Now, when Pete goes into one of the nice cool things here, go back into that Cindy Solomon session, I can share it with a group of people. Now we're all collectively looking at this board, studying the content. When we originally created this, we called them study groups. And the idea behind this is that we can all work on this collectively. It could be facilitated by one specific subject matter expert. And now Pete can start a discussion thread right here. And if I go over here, I could probably grab the same one that Pete's in. So now we've got the ability to share a board with people. Share it, facilitate it through the trainer, and now start a discussion group, a forum, if you will, around this particular piece of content. And the idea with this is that everybody can have a little bit of communication. You've got obviously the one-way facilitation coming from your instructor, and then you've got two-way discussions going back and forth between anybody. Pete, if you refresh it, I think you might see my comment that I just made. Yes, I love when that works.
Great stuff.
Yeah, and so with this, we have both types of commentary going on. One is the one-way facilitation, and then the other one is this two-way discussion thread with everybody who's invited to this board and has access to this course. So yeah, and this is all powered by the Facebook comments plugin, which basically is the news feed that we're all very comfortable with. But it's just private and inside of Knowledgelink, not shared on Facebook in any way, but it's a really nice way for you to be able to get a discussion group going. Andrew?
So there's a question about this. Is there any way to handle anonymous access where you don't need to authenticate? I mean, obviously you're with the commenting here, you're definitely tying something in there, but is there a way to participate anonymously?
I think in this case, because of the way most discussion groups work, like Discuss or the Facebook feed like we're using, you do have to have a registered account. They want every comment needs to be assigned to an individual. So in this case, no anonymous comments. They would be assigned to whoever made that comment, and obviously the subject matter expert. Well, to some extent, the subject matter expert is anonymous. The person who's facilitating it, like Pete was doing before, you don't see who actually made those comments to the right of the video. That could be done somewhat anonymously, but in the discussion group, this is definitely always affiliated with a person's name.
Sure, sure. And so to access the content as well, you have to be logged in. There's no way for an anonymous account to utilize this tool.
Yeah, so 100% you can have anonymous access to any session inside of Knowledgelink. We offer what's called deep links, and that provides anonymous access. So it generates a deep link that you can provide to any user. They click the link and it launches them right into a session anonymously. It does track the views so that you have the global views in your reporting, but not by individual users. So yes, if you use the deep link functionality in Knowledgelink, that's completely anonymous viewing. You can drop those links anywhere. No one needs to log in. They can just view anonymously, but a lot of these features we're showing now kind of require you to log in from the front end.
Sure. And then what about coming back to those comments? Is there a way to control what comments can and can't be viewed? For example, could you make comments public within the group or just private so that only the facilitator can see those messages?
Right now, we don't have any proctor capability where you are actually approving comments, and we didn't add that initially just because of the admin load that someone would have to proctor all those comments. But it's something certainly that we might look at in the future and have that ability to have a proctor who can filter out the comments they want to show and the ones they don't.
Sure, but what about if it's a video course and it's not participatory and you just want someone to type their thoughts in when they finish, type your thoughts on this video and you send those in as a comment? It's not possible to say only admins can see the comments on this video?
So yeah, we actually, and I think it probably leads into, I think the next thing we're going to talk about here, which is our survey module, because I think what Andrew's talking about there is a little bit, how do you get feedback? How do you allow people to add comments, deliver them, and not have it instantly show up on the front end? And so thank you for the segue there, Andrew, to our next topic area, the feedback module. So in here, we use this module. We built it internally into Knowledgelink. So it's both for quizzing, really not basic quizzing, knowledge checks, reinforcements throughout, but very much like Andrew said, it's also used more frequently than anything for a survey module. And so, Pete, I believe if we go into the leadership development track there, I think we've got a feedback. Do we have it in this one? Oh, shoot. Oh, no, it's productivity hacks. I'm sorry. So one of the other ones, and I think we put it in here because we wanted to feature all the great eLearning Brothers content that we've been creating for the remote work program. So this is also really cool. We're going to show the feedback survey here in a moment, but just for anybody who hasn't seen this, we're going to show you at the end how you can opt into the eLearning Brothers remote work program, which has gotten super popular with all our users. But we actually have eLearning Brothers employees recording videos from their own webcams on, as you can see, video conferencing, our own Andrew Townsend here on how to share your calendar, Trent Howell on how to position your monitor. We've been doing this because these are getting viewed so much, and it allows this personalization that anybody in your organization, particularly now when we're all working remotely from home, can jump in here, record, and Pete, this monitor height's a good one. If you just click play this and go to the end, this will automatically load that feedback survey. But this is a way that anybody can upload a video. We're just doing quick little videos on how productivity hacks while we're all working from home. And it shows the personality of the company. It shows who we are, and simple to do. Everybody can post videos this way. And then to Andrew's point, it automatically loads up a feedback survey. We want to anonymous. We don't want to share this on the front end and know that, did you like the video? Did you not like it? What are your negative comments? What we want here is take a quick survey. Tell us a few things about the content that we put in here. Rate the session on a scale of 1 to 5. Super simple. Of course, it's Trent's video, so we'll give him a 5. Do you want to see more content like this? Yes or no? And any ideas? Pete can type in. And so this is to that exact point Andrew said, can we have commentary that doesn't immediately show to everyone, but it does have a direct route to the owner of this library of content? So this is the way to do that. These are just simply added. It's nothing complicated. You don't need an authoring tool or anything external. You just add a survey, drop it right into the course wherever you want it. And when the video ends, it just automatically loads up the next session, which is these 3 survey questions. Now, when Pete hits that button, it goes to the very next session. And now the manager and the administrator who owns this content library, they get that feedback, they get that comment, the rating, but it's not shared for the entire population necessarily. We do have ratings. Obviously, Pete, maybe scroll down and show if we have ratings. We might not have ratings turned on right now. No, we don't. So if you activate ratings, you can also have public ratings. We do a 5-star rating system. So anybody could go in here and rate things 1 to 5 stars. And when you do that, everybody sees it. So we did give that handy switch for everyone to turn ratings off if you don't necessarily want everyone to know how many 1 or 2 star sessions you have.
Some people don't want to know.
Yeah. And the survey module is a great way to get people to really give you feedback. One of the things that we always say is if you really want to make sure that your content's hitting home and then it's making an impact with the users, just ask them, and ask them a lot. Ask them as often as possible. People love to participate. They want to be heard. Why not drop these quick little survey modules in all throughout? Everybody's doing Survey Monkeys and Typeforms, and we thought, why not just build that directly into the platform and be able to drop a survey anywhere to find out how are we doing and what content do you want to see more of. So now moving on, Pete, I think we're going to talk a little bit about, are we doing skills-based training now?
Knowledge Pilot, I think, right? Skills-based training.
All right. So taking surveys and user interaction to the next level, Knowledge Pilot, which you see here on the dashboard, is our latest and greatest innovation in Knowledgelink. So one of the challenges that we had with Knowledgelink is that our libraries, our user libraries got very, very large. So currently we have probably about 60,000 or more hosted sessions inside of Knowledgelink communities. And some sites will have over 1,000 sessions in their community. And so when users are overloaded with that amount of content, they find it hard to really find the path to the content that's most important to them. So about 2 years ago, we set down this path of building a skills assessment tool. We thought that the most important thing we could do for user adoption was to drive our users to the content that they needed most at this moment. And that's really what Knowledge Pilot's all about. It's a self-managed assessment tool. You create your own assessment, or you can browse our marketplace and choose an industry standard assessment, behavioral assessments, core competencies, soft skills assessments. We have a whole selection that are going to be available soon, but also you can just create your own. And so, Pete, if we launch into Knowledge Pilot, Pete, before you do that, actually, you just have one thing enrolled here, so that's cool. So now we can test your skills. Now, Pete's going to go through this. We're going to launch a quick Knowledge Pilot assessment. Our recommendation is, great. So our recommendation for this is really, in a lot of ways, you can start with a completely blank online university. Someone comes in on day 1 of their employment, and we don't suggest the path for them. We want to check what their knowledge state is on day 1 because everybody's different. And then we're going to ask them, and Pete, while I'm talking, you can just go through. We'll see how well Pete does on his soft skills core competency assessment. I've done this many times, and I have a cumulative score of about 18%. So, so the first thing we ask is a self-assessment. You can turn this on or off, but we kind of want to know, what do you think you're good at, and how important is that skill set? Am I good at creative thinking? I think I'm very good. And how important is it to my job? Important. And then for each one, and now this is automatic. If you turn on self-assessments, these questions come up. You don't have to author them. It's done for you. And now I hit save and continue. Now I continue to my actual skills assessment here. And this is just a quick one we've authored. You can do a random pool of 150 questions and pull 2 each time someone comes through. You set the schedule, how often you want people to be reassessed, and the system does it for you. Pete, are you trying? Are you trying to get these right?
No, I'm trying to get them wrong so we can get some enrollments.
Try to get one right. Try to get one right.
I thought I got the first two right. I guess not.
It's best for demonstration.
Good ideas.
Don't take too
innovation solution. I agree. Being creative approaches decision making. I agree.
So basically, these are multiple choice. You can set these up yourself. Again, we're gonna have a marketplace that's debuting in July, where we're gonna have premium assessments, free assessments, prefabbed, templated assessments, very much the eLearning Brothers style of doing things. We want to make it easy for all of you guys to look like e-learning rock stars. So the idea is, how can we give you prefabbed assessments ready to go? All you do is flip a switch, turn them on, and then attach them to the courses in your library. So here's what's different about Knowledge. Oh, Peter. Well, you did better than me.
All right, 20% decision making.
So this is good for the demonstration, though, because Peter obviously needs a lot of help in his core competencies. So he's going to get a lot of recommendations. So at the real unique aspect of KnowledgePod, everybody's seen assessment tools before. There's nothing new there. What we wanted and we didn't see out there in the market was an assessment tool like this that would determine where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are, and automatically recommend courses in the library that will help you move forward in the areas that you're weakest. So under it all, this innovation for Knowledgelink is really a course recommendation engine. So Pete, if he clicks on his details, he can see, drill into each one of these skills areas, drop down and choose one. Communication skills.
I thought I was better than I actually was. 88% I thought I was. I'm only 8%, so I think I need this recommended course.
You're only 80% off on that. And so we're going to automatically recommend communicating with others for Peter, and it shows you a replay of how you scored. If Pete goes to his recommended courses, it'll show him the collection of everything that he's been recommended. So this is a unique, personalized learning track assigned to Peter based on his knowledge state and where he needs the most development. An HR friend of mine said, you don't call them weaknesses, you call them areas of opportunity. So Peter's got 3 areas of opportunity. If he clicks through here, he can go directly to his university, in this case, the eLearning Brothers LMS, and get directly to the design thinking course. So the idea is, let's get the user engaged in the process. Let's get them directly to the content that they need the most at this moment based on their knowledge state. We don't need them thinking. We don't need them to find design thinking inside of a 1,000-session community or a 1,000-session library. What we want them to do is get to the stuff they need the most, and then we'll reassess them on a quarterly basis, an annual basis, whatever schedule you set it on. And then we can see that the content that we're spending a lot of money either buying, building, or leveraging from the prefab libraries that we offer through eLearning Brothers. One of the real goals is the business case side. Just because we got lots of logins and lots of views and maybe lots of completions, did we actually improve Peter's skill sets in design thinking? And so at the end of the year, when Pete reassesses and we see that now he no longer needs help in design thinking, we know the courses that we're spending lots of time and money building are actually getting the job done. And Pete, to tie it back to our enrollments, I think if you come back here. I'm now
enrolled in those 3 courses.
Pete has automatically been enrolled into his personalized learning tracks. If he hovers over any one of these, it'll show exactly how far he's progressed. So it shows you your status, what percent. Obviously, Pete being at 8% on his skill sets.
I need some training.
18% collectively. So Peter has to get into these and start using his enrolled content. So the idea here is, once again, that theme of how do we drive adoption? It is always through enrollment. How do we get people to enroll seamlessly without feeling like it's work? Why not use a skills-based assessment tool like we offer in Knowledgelink to get you right into the content you need most at this moment? Pete, anything else you want to add on the skills-based assessment or anything that you're seeing people do with it out there today?
I think the big one is, like you said, just starting with a blank canvas and just letting them assess into what they're doing. I've seen it mostly for competencies. Some are just doing a career tracks as well. They want to be a certain position at an organization. That assessment's more geared towards your career map, but where do you want to go as an employee? If I'm in sales, do I want to start at, a BDR, then up to a sales exec? It'll give you the training around that specific role as well. That's been very good in organizations where they're really concerned and want to help focus on the career mapping as well.
So those are all the features that we're going to share today around driving adoption, really utilizing enrollments in all different ways and a lot of these different social tools we've got. And we'll turn it over to Andrew now and see if we've got any questions you guys want us to answer specifically.
Sure, yeah, we've got a couple more questions these may be more of a, maybe we chat about these offline, but for those users who are looking for an LMS where they can deploy paid courses, or they're looking for an LMS where they can host the courses that they make for several different clients. The use of media groups and auto enrollment and UI customization. Is there a way to handle different student groups from different clients and to ensure that everybody's seeing the right stuff?
Yeah, and Pete, you could probably answer more on this. I would say schedule some time with Pete, because I don't think there's a better learning management system for marketing premium content offerings to a client base. That is what Knowledgelink was built for from the ground up. Our clients are typically traditionally have been training companies, coaches, consultants, people who are building large content libraries and selling them to a multitude of clients. That is probably one of the #1 use cases of Knowledgelink. It's very different from your standard LMS in that case. So definitely, if you're looking to deliver content to multiple clients, you're going to be very happy with what Knowledgelink can do. So Pete, you work with people all the time on that. What do you say about it?
Yeah, quite a bit. Anyone
hey, Peter, I'm going to have to interrupt you. We're losing you a little bit.
Oh, Andrew, I thought that was me, so I didn't want to say anything, but I'll jump in for Peter. I thought it was going to be me.
I definitely want to hear what Peter's got to say.
Oh,
but
no.
I know.
It might have to be another time.
Because Peter signal isn't very strong, scan the QR code or call the number here, email info@learningbrothers, and just talk to Peter. He could show you some examples of how people are doing it, and you'd be really impressed. There's some cool ways to resell your content in Knowledgelink.
Can you go full screen on that, Peter, if you can still hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me still?
Yes, we hear you.
All right, perfect.
Go ahead and launch that into presentation mode.
This will take you right to the ability to sign up for that pre-remote training course. So
excellent.
Your information,
and if you're not
then you'll
on
get
mobile,
full access.
or if you don't want to grab that on mobile, where can we go?
Just hold your camera
up. There is a URL, yep.
And it works.
If you take a picture of it, it'll take you right to, let me see what it directs me to. It'll take you to hub.elearningbrothers.com. And then I'm sure there's a / to it, but it'll take you right into the site to sign up, get free access in. And what's cool is you're actually in there as a user, can take all the content, and even get in there as a office administrator. So you can actually invite others to the free training course as well. So you can really leverage the power of all that free content in there.
Really play around. So if you're not going to take a snapshot with your phone, you can go to elearningbrothers.com, the address there at the bottom of the page, and then in the top there's a section called Learning Management System. Click on that, and it's got more information about Knowledgelink, but you'll also find a link that goes to the same place there.
Yep.
I think that's all the questions that we had for today. If people want to reach out and chat with you directly, Peter, how do they do that?
Yeah, definitely. They can get me at Getchell at elearningbrothers.com, and you can also a submission through the learning management page on the website will take you to me as well, and LinkedIn or through the eLearning Brothers website. You can always get me through there.
Excellent. And if you want to just start a phone call right now, you can call the number on the screen, 801-796-2767, and we can get you to Peter as well.
Yes.
All right,
indeed.
thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks John and Peter for this presentation. It's been very, very useful. I think everybody has learned a lot. We hope that we can start more conversations there on the side, and we hope to talk with you guys next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Andrew.